Hi everyone, welcome to Table for Two. I am the Elusive Bigfoot.
And I'm Onezie.
Today we are covering our top 5, in no particular order except for the last one, game mechanics. So a game mechanic is just an overarching
Way of playing the
way
game.
of play. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. There might be multiple mechanics within a game that helps form that game, but what we're going to talk about are the things that we like. So again, in a lot of games that you play, it'll have 2 or 3 of these different types of things. So let us start. Would you like to do your first one?
I'll do my first one,
Okay.
which is dice chucking.
What is
or rolling dice.
rolling dice? Okay, so it's a
Rolling
dice
dice.
roller game. Okay, got it.
So it's super satisfying just to hold any amount of dice in your hand, mix them up, and then toss them on the table. Dice chucking or dice rolling, used in so many games, a lot of games. So that's my first one.
Okay.
Dice.
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 All right, my first one is deck building. So in deck building, you are using the cards that you have in your hand and certain values that are written on the cards to purchase more cards to add to your deck. The ones you buy go into your discard, and at one point you finish your hand, then you get to shuffle your deck of cards, draw more, and then you start over. But the entire time, what you're trying to do is build a solid deck of things that will give you points or will help you get to what your goal is, and hopefully get rid of some cards that are not so helpful.
Deck building is on my list
Oh,
too.
great.
And one of the great things that I love about deck building games is getting cards that work together. Like they have what's called a synergy. And you can try to build an engine with your deck. So it's not just about getting the points. It's about this card works with that card. And if I happen to be able to play them together, I can do this one great thing. Maybe that'll happen a few times throughout the game since I've built a deck with both of these cards.
Good. And so a couple examples of that might be Clank, or it might be Legendary deck building, a Marvel deck building game. Those are great deck builders. Okay. What do you have?
All right. So next one up on my list is worker placement. Right, this is a huge thing.
That's on mine. That's not mine.
Worker placement is basically where you take a token, some item in the game, and you place it somewhere on the board. And depending on where you place it, you get to do something, or you gather something, or you get something, be able to do something.
Something.
Right, and if you have many of these things to do in a game, you really start to feel like it's a strategy game. Where I put my worker to do my thing really affects the outcome of how well I'm going to do in the game. And worker placement is huge on my list.
Do you have a particular game that you like that uses that?
I like Architects of the West Kingdom.
I was just thinking that. That's a great worker placement game where you start out with like maybe 25 meeples, and then depending on where you place them, you'll have certain abilities, but you can't really always gather them up, so that maybe a one and done. That might be the one time you get to put them out there.
So that's my next one, was worker placement.
Okay, my next one that I'm going to talk about is pickup and delivery. So it is a game where you have to take your marker somewhere and get a thing, get an object, and then you'll end up taking it somewhere else in order to get the points. So a couple of examples would be, well, definitely Mint Delivery does that. Switch and Signal does that. I'm trying to think of the game. I am blanking out on it. What is the game that I always wanted to learn? I finally learned it at SCon.
I don't remember.
Brass Birmingham. Brass Birmingham does that. So it's not a common theme that you see in a lot of games, but boy, so much fun.
Get your stuff and get it where it needs to go.
Yeah. All right, so my next game, or next mechanic that I'm going to talk about, is engine building. I love engine building. And it was kind of pointed to by Onezie, where what you're trying to do is this action will then give me this action, which will then give me this action, which will then result in this. So some examples of that: potion explosion. You know, you're trying to get your marbles to smash into it, and then if you take those marbles out, maybe more will. Or Okay, so another game that does that is Gizmos. I mean, you probably have certain games that give you certain abilities, and if you result in that ability, you'll get to do something else. That's an example of engine building. So you just start looking ahead, how can I make a great combination?
All right. The next one on my list is Roll and Write.
Oh, that's a good one.
So this is a category of games that I've discovered in the last 7 years or something.
Yeah, they started getting really popular before the pandemic, for sure.
Yeah, and there's also Flip and Write. It's not just Roll and Write.
Right.
So with Roll and Write, you roll some dice, and based on what you roll, you write something on your personal player sheet to help fulfill an objective. Right, and it's very fun.
You don't look like you're having fun.
I'm having fun.
Okay.
This is fun. The beatings will continue until morale improves. So Roll and Write or Flip and Write. That's my mechanic.
Oh, and the Flip and Write. What can you say a little bit more about that?
Flip and Write, instead of rolling the dice to see what result you're going to write down, you flip a card over.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a community card, and you both are writing a result on your paper based on what the card was that you
like
over.
Welcome to your neighborhood or something like that. That would be a Flip and Write. Okay, good. All right. My next one is my next one is my last one.
Oh, so you only had 2 and not 3.
Nope, take it back. My next one is card drafting. So unlike deck building, where you use your hand to pick from a community pool of the card that you want, in deck drafting, we each have a hand of cards. We put one down and we pass the rest, and then we'll be picking from that hand next. So you know kind of what you left it with. You don't know what your opponents have, but you kind of have an idea what was there at one point. So examples of that would be Sushi Go. You pick a card, you're trying to make your sets with that, and you're passing the hands of card around. Who else does a really good job of that? Beer and Bread does a great job with that, where you're trying to build a powerful set of cards you're going to be using, but it was there when you passed it. I don't know if it's coming back again. Okay, that is card drafting.
All right, my ultimate choice.
Okay.
My next up choice.
My ultimate, I wonder if it's the same.
Well, my ultimate choice is tile laying.
Nope, not the same.
Okay, so you've got tiles, cardboard or otherwise, and you lay them down on the table, and usually it forms some kind of puzzle or picture together. And as the game goes, the picture or the puzzle gets bigger, and then that ends up being the game board. Yeah. And you can do stuff on the game board. So it's a different game every time when you start laying tiles. And that's my top choice is tile laying. I think my favorite game that does it is Carcassonne Hunters and Gatherers, which we played recently.
Yeah, Carcassonne does a great job of being a tile laying game, where you're just trying to match the edges of your puzzle pieces to get it to form one cohesive castle or one cohesive forest or something like that. Great example. All right, my final is cooperative games. Of course, yeah, if you know me, you know that's my favorite. Where I really love for everyone to win, and that's how I lead my life. I just really want everyone to win. That's kind of how we got Table for Two, where everyone, becomes a family. So, what are some great games? All of the Marvel Champions legendary games, they are cooperative. We all win together. Believe it or not, I turn a lot of the games that we play into cooperative games. We all
She does that.
I want everyone to win, or I want us can we tie? If we can't win, can we at least tie? So that is it. Those are our favorite mechanics. We'd love to know, what are your favorite mechanics? So please like and subscribe and let us know what kind of things you like to play. And so until next time, I'm the Elusive Bigfoot.
And I'm Onezie.
Thank you so much for watching. Bye.